Even everyone, and welcome back once again to Vicious Rants. And of course, I'm your host, the one and only, the often imitated, never duplicated backyard superstar, Tim Vicious. I am, well, this one, not only was it the last show before pay-per-view, it was also this Raw. It was a special edition one because, wait for it, it was the Slammies. Oh yes, that's why I'm all suited up, you know. It's a special edition, and the Slammy for most underrated wrestling show out there this year goes to... I always get so nervous at this part. Oh my god, Vicious Rants! Okay, that's enough bad jokes. On with the show. The first award that they did... I'm going to talk about the awards first, and then I'll do the matches. The first award they did, it was the LOL moment of the year, which case it was, I just want to say first off, why in God's good name would they have the New Age Outlaws copy Bad Influence? Because Kazarian and Daniels came out doing the Dumb and Dumber suits, and they actually looked better in them than Jim Carrey and Jeff Bridges did. So, you know, I just don't get it, but either way, moving on, and I don't remember all the nominees. The winner in that one was Dewey doing his rock concert. Ooh. Don't ask about this, it was a game I did earlier, it was a joke I did earlier with my brother. But all I can really say is, you know, given the options in that category, not that surprised. And when The Rock came out to accept it live via Twitter, that was kind of bullshit. I mean, you couldn't even have Dewey do his normal thing and bring it live via satellite. But, you know, what are you going to do? Next thing you know, it was Double Cross of the Year. Double Cross of the Year was the next award. Mark Henry should have won that because, hands down, he did some of the best acting right then and there when he was saying he was going to retire, had his arm up with Cena, and then right out of nowhere, whoop, picked him up and slammed him and threw him down like if he was nothing. You know, Shawn wound up winning when he did his infamous double cross and super kicked Bryan. I just want to say, how is it that he double crossed Bryan? Because he said before that he was going to crown a new champion no matter what won. And two, he never said he was siding with Bryan to begin with. You know? So it's not like he actually did a real double cross. He just chose a side instead of remaining neutral. So instead of being like the Swiss, he chose to do something. Next thing you know, it was the Extreme Moment of the Year, and of course they have Mick Foley do it because, heaven forbid, they have somebody that could actually talk about being hardcore, you know, like Tommy Dreamer or Sabu. Actually, forget Sabu, because Sabu never had mic time. That was the whole point of his gimmick. But Taker versus Ambrose really should have won. That was the actual people's winner. WWE's winner was CM Punk caning Paul Heyman and giving him a GTS on top of the cell. I think it would have been more of an extreme moment with him doing that if after he wound up caning him, he hit the GTS and then that part of the cell collapsed and then Heyman fell into the ring. That would have been more of an extreme moment. But what are you going to do? Anyways, next one, fan participation. I was a bit surprised it wasn't the fan... I'm going to dance around because it's a popular trend. Or no, what's it called? Fan-dingaling? Fan-dingaling-a-ling? Or something like that. As opposed to the yes thing. The Daniel Bryan's yes wound up winning. Okay, moving on. Next thing you know, insult of the year. Stephanie trashing Big Show won. Really? I mean, AJ's and AJ did her pipe bomb on the ST Divas. That should have been it, but fuck it. Yeah. Next thing you know, next one was the Diva of the Year. Which case, all I can say is, hey, look, Eve's Got Herpes is back. Which, yes, by the way, I did bring out that old hashtag just for old time's sake. Eve's Got Herpes. So, you know, and the Bellas wound up winning, which just goes to show they obviously slept their way to the top. You know, so, you know, next thing you know, next one was the Superstar of the Year, and of course, Daniel Bryan won that. Bryan's been on a roll since Bryan's been non-stop since SummerSlam as far as with the crowd loving him. You know, him and Shawn had to stare down, and I know some people are saying they'd like to see Shawn versus Bryan at WrestleMania or just at some upcoming pay-per-view. Well, yes, that would be good. At the same time, you got to think that would discredit and take away everything that The Undertaker's streak has, saying that he beat him, but he beat him and he killed his career, but Shawn's allowed to come back into the ring. You know, and of course, Match of the Year was, the great Once in a Lifetime. Wait, Once in a Lifetime? No. That was like a year or two ago. Once in a Lifetime, twice in a lifetime, I mean. It was Cena versus Dewey, you know, which, if anything, Punk and Taker should have won just because there was more emotion and an actual meaning behind their story for their match. You know, especially considering that, you know, the whole thing behind it was, you know, Punk was dishonoring the name of Paul Bearer and Taker was looking to reclaim it. Now then, on with the news. Next up, it was first match before I get into the matches. Probably one of the best parts about with this show, no promos. It was just award, match, award, match, award, match, award. Michael Cole app raping us, match, award, match, Michael Cole app raping us, award, match. That's all it was. Absolutely loved it. Would like to see something more like that down the road. More matches, less promos, but what are you going to do? Moving on. Next match, it was Daniel Bryan versus Finn. He wore purple and black and was color coordinated? No. Finn. I've run out of witty jokes to say in regards to his name. Or something along those lines. And, you know, the crowd was dead on hot for Bryan the whole time. And you know, that was straight up probably one of the better parts of the matches. Not to say that the match itself was bad. It's just that was amazing as well. You know? Also, gotta give credit where credit's due. With Finn, Johnny Curtis countering and hitting a powerbomb right as Bryan was in midair going to do his drop kick. That takes a lot of time, and I was impressed on that. You know, and also I got to give Curtis credit where credit's due. He got handed a bad gimmick, and he found a way to go with it. It's just I wish creative would have something actually worthwhile to do with him. You know, because if anything, ever since he got done his bit with Jericho, he's been going down. So, Jericho, if you're watching this, please come back and please, or at the very least, give creative an idea to do it, Finn Booger Flicker. You know, to sum up the match, it was good. Bryan won. Not a big shock. Moving on, it was Sandow versus Santino. It was a squash match. Sandow had control through pretty much the entire time. Big E was on commentary. It was nice seeing him. Like Big E going as a heel, it's just this past week on commentary, it kind of felt like he was like just doing your atypical babyface answers. Pretty sure somebody was probably yelling into his headset saying, "Be more alive! Be human! Don't give face answers!" You know, but, what are you gonna do? Next up, Kofi versus The Miz. I honestly did not pay attention to it. I watched the match, and I know Miz won, but I paid no attention because, yeah, Miz going from heel to face, heel to face, heel to face, heel to face. I don't even remember what he was this week, if he was a heel or a baby face. The only things I really remember in this match was Miz won, and Kofi looked like he was wearing Spider-Man pajamas while he was doing the match. That's it. Next one after that, it was Rey Mysterio, Big Show, Cody and Goldust versus the Real Americans and Axel and Ryback, which they're now calling themselves Rybaxel, which kind of sounds like a bad disorder that you'd get diagnosed with. So all I can really think is if your Rybaxel lasts for more than 4 hours, you may want to consult a physician. Or go and say you wound up beating Tommy Lee in that. But anyways, it was a pretty okay match. I was more so impressed that they wound up having Goldust take a good chunk of the beating and yet still come back and, you know, come back, take them out, and then do the hot tag to get Rey in. Rey hit 619, then did the drop the dime on them, won the match. I'm actually impressed with the way that they're working with Rey doing this. I think Rey should start getting moved into the tag division. They could redo him and Sin Cara together, and then, you know, it's just an idea. But, you know, next up it was Sin Cara versus Del Rio, and a surprise again, Sin Cara won. You know, especially now that the actual Sin Cara Mystico, he's not in WWE no more. You know, you got Hunico doing the Sin Cara gimmick. And I know people are going to badmouth the gimmick itself and say, oh yeah, it's just because kids like it. You know what? Yeah. Here's the fucking thing, you dipshits. The show's targeted to kids. Quit complaining about that. I watch kids shows all the time, even when my son's not here. That doesn't mean I go and bitch about saying that something that they target the kids is on there. Anyways, this big thing that I was kind of disappointed on was Sin Cara wound up botching and missed the majority of that senton that he did. You know, when he was up, when it looked like just the back of his head caught Del Rio's arm or just a part of his chest. You know, but that was me, because I rewound and replayed that like 3 or 4 times. I saw it. You know, if you've seen different, let me know. Next up, you have Brodus versus Xavier Woods, which for a segment to be, that was like a 15-second segment. I felt it wasn't really needed. The only thing that it showed was Brodus starting to go more heel, which honestly, you really could have just done that with having a backstage segment. Excuse me. You know, just Brodus talking to the Funka, whatever the girls' names are, the ones that are part of the ST Divas. And then next, you know, Brodus coming over, giving them that, I told you not to mess with main event players. And then go beat them up. Easy enough. Next thing you know, next match, it was Punk versus Ambrose, in which case Fangirl's panties were dropping like flies between that and when the Shield came out in suits. Yeah, average guys like me got absolutely, average wrestling guys like me, we got zero chance compared to them, so thanks. It was a fairly decent match. I was impressed with it. Big thing that they were showing in there was some trash talking between some of the Shield itself. When I mean trash talking, I don't mean like I'm better than you, no I'm better, and yes, I just did hand puppets again, so let's get that out there. That's the second time you've ever seen hand puppets on here. But, you know, what I mean by trash talking is Ambrose was looking at Rollins and Reigns like, what are you guys doing? I got this. I can beat him. Da 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 da. All that kind of happy honky dory horse shit. And then you see Rollins and Reigns walking back up the ramp, and then Punk hit the GTS on Punk getting the GTS on Ambrose, and then you actually see, if you were paying attention to Rollins and Reigns, they stopped dead in their tracks on the ramp, and looked up at the Titantron to see it. Like, yeah, he's getting hit. Well, he said he can do it by himself, and then just walked away. You know they're throwing hints that the Shield are gonna break up soon. So, you know, I mean, that happens with every stable, you know, at one point or another. I'm not that surprised. I'm just hoping that when they do, they give the guys all good pushes. Next match, it was the Usos versus the Wyatts. The Wyatts wound up winning. You know, Harper wound up hitting that clothesline of his. You know, but honestly, I'm not that impressed with the Usos, and I know people are going to say, oh, they're a good tag team. You know what? That's all well and good. I mean, aside from the fact that they jobbed for so long, they've lost all credibility to me. They really don't do anything to stand out in the tag team division to me. I mean, for crying out loud, I swear the only reason why they're getting a push is because one of them is sleeping with one of the ST Divas, and they're on the show. So, you know, hey, Zack Ryder, here's an idea. If you watch this, here's an idea. Go and knock boots with the one that looks like a used tampon, that has the hair that looks like a used tampon, that thinks an arm bar is where they serve booze, or the short little one with the big giant fro. And that way, you start dating them, you're on TV, they have to give you a push. Case closed. There you go. That's on how any WWE talent can get a push now. They have to just start dating one of the ST Divas. You know? Anyways, next matchup, and oddly enough, it was technically considered the main event. Natalya versus Big Mama Cool Snuka. You know, which case, wasn't really that impressed with. I mean, Natty won, and you know they're doing that just to help build her hype up with her match with AJ, but honestly, the women's division is in such piss poor shape. You know, the women that could bring the Divas division back to what it was, you know, easy enough. Just fire all talent except for Natty, AJ, Paige, Charlotte, Emma. You know, you could bring in Alicia. You know, I mean, hell, you can keep Layla around just for shits and giggles. You know, even though she's out on leave for whatever reason. You know, just, you know, keep the fanboys happy with that. You know, you put them on there. You get rid of the rest. You grab a couple girls from the indie scenes, like maybe even Cherry Bomb or Mia Yim, and even yet ask Sarah Del Rey the side job at the side as a part-time wrestler, also on the main roster, as well as being a trainer. You know, you do that, you could rebuild the roster. You could rebuild the women's division in there. You know, but anyways, that was it. That was the main event. I really am pissed off on how the women's division is going. It's a god-awful shame compared to what it was 10 years ago. You know, it's like they just piss in a cup, splash it in the face, and say, that's what you get. You know, and they're throwing it at us. But, anyways, last segment of the night, it was the quote-unquote Ascension. Why are you calling it an Ascension? I don't get it. I mean, they even brought out a custom wench to hold both the World Heavyweight and the WWE title. And you had former World Heavyweight and WWE champions in here. Best part of it was when Triple H was talking about champions that held both titles, and when Steph wound up bringing up Triple H's part. If you paid attention to the background, You just see CM Punk like, oh god, she's actually bringing up this asshole. You know, that was the best part. You know, other than that, I really didn't listen to much of the promo because, like I said before, you got the guys screaming and yelling at each other like, ah! You know what? I'm not gonna listen. I'm gonna walk away, grab a soda, and come back and see you guys still doing the same thing. Whereas if you do like Jake the Snake or you do like the Whites, then you sit there and you talk calm. You won't whisper, and you actually talk on what it is you're gonna say and do. People are gonna sit there and listen and be like, what is it he's talking about? Holy shit. Yeah. Just like I got you guys to do right there. You know? It's all psychology right there, because that's all it is right there. You know? And next thing you know, I don't even know what started it. You know, big part, aside from the part with CM Punk, best part of that was when Triple H, in the middle of the promo, you couldn't even hear him because the crowd wound up getting so hot for Bryan, especially since it was in his home, it was in his backyard basically. Seattle, he's from Aberdeen, but you know, it's his backyard. You know, the crowd was more over for him, and Mark Henry was egging them, you know, like, yeah, it's him, yeah. And then Cena, which case, die Cena, die. Sorry, I'm trying to get that murmur taken care of. Trying to get that murmuring taken care of. Fuck Cena! See? I keep on doing it. You know, he wound up egging it on like, hey, here's Daniel Bryan. The last legitimate title shot he got was with me at SummerSlam. In which case, it's sad but true. And I don't know what started it, but Cena and Orton, they started fist fighting. They broke, you know, all the guys in the ring. They broke them up, their respective thing. Randy wound up, the Punk just looked. He was like, bitch, no, you did not just bitch, no, you did not just touch me. And then he started beating him up. And then Hunter wound up grabbing him. And then Punk hit Hunter. And then Shawn hit Punk. And then Bryan hit Shawn. And then Randy went to go hit Bryan and then tossed him into Steph, and then Triple H hit Orton. That's on how it basically went. It was a good way to end the show. Now, what's going to be really good is if they wind up having both guys not have their titles at all whatsoever until the pay-per-view, because that's on how you build up, saying that the belts are being risen and being held until then. You know? Anyways, that's all the time I got for this show. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch all the other episodes. Look for me on Twitter at TimVicious. Check out my backup account, Tim_Vicious, because I get thrown in Twitter jail every now and then. When that happens, I wind up having some kind of message I always want to get to Twitter, but I can never think of it. Oh, yeah, by the way, don't forget to check out Axel Mulligan's blogs on Facebook. Also, when you can, go check out Simply Sabrina's Twitter page. Talk to her. She's doing a fundraiser to help raise up some money. Sabrina, like I said, I'll throw you some. I'm just a little in the red between bills and Christmas shopping. Also, don't forget to check out the Vampire Ninja, the King, Ali Ben, and the Masked Marks TNA Turnaround Show. Even when I'm not on there, it's always a great show. Ali, thanks for the shout-outs on there. Appreciate it. And, man, you know, I still got nothing. Anyways, don't forget to check out all these cool-ass cats right here on Twitter. And yeah, I'm going to make that a thing now as a joke. But Ollie, I'm going to make that as a joke now, Ollie, saying I got nothing. My brother from another mother, James Belmont, JX2001. That Roxy Girl, _it's V bitch. James, Roxy, and Vicky all got their own YouTube pages. Make sure y'all check them out. I am Danny Sunday, Monkey Morris, Helen Robinson 82, Nya_Cakes, Jerry Soriano, Team Custom Made, Cranky Asshole, Stacy Impact W Fan, Legion Lady Aaron, Legion of Nerds, and you know, like I keep on telling y'all, you love me great, you hate me, fuck yous.